One thing is that nowadays everybody is so everything is about. Okay, I must tell you this. Like you see, one thing very sad in Bhutan is that nobody appreciates Bhutan. Everybody try to make Bhutan is something great, but Bhutan itself is so great. It's the land of Vajrayana, it's the land of Guru Rinpoche, it's the land of so many great teachers, blessing. They took there, and all of this is so amazing. And we don't see this, and we don't realize this. Many of you think, but the day you wake up from your bed, you're like, "Wait, tariti katebi namo, ngaiki business si katebi jonga, tari ngalu ani ngaiki boss ki chik naonga, promotion ji topga, tiru topga, school na legend bi joga, wait, katebi na ase, ani jam chi naso taong mo." We never think about when we wake up, oh, I'm alive, I have all my needs. Thank you, 3 jewels. May I dedicate myself to you. In this day, from morning till evening, whatever I do, the activities may all be positive and helpful for others, not just for myself. So you sort of pray, appreciate. Don't think so much about that. It's so much about this fake thing, nothing realistic. You see, our self, the life is realistic. Everything that happens in our life is not that realistic. Because we are the one who is living, we are the one who is doing. Everything that comes in our way is coming, appearing, and then moving on. So it's like a ongoing sort of a show. It's like an ongoing movie. We see it ends, we see it ends, we see it ends. But we are the one who are living on. We are the one who are living. So really, you have to understand that how precious we are as a human being. We are so precious. And we always think, oh, I'm too ugly, or I am too this, I'm too dark, and I'm too white, and I'm small eyes, or I am big eyes, or I'm small ear, short hair, all of this. But we never once think that I am a human being. We have so many human beings in the world. You see so many people suffer so much in life. They have terrible conditions, terrible disease. Their life is just miserable. And we are not that miserable. We have a good life, we are a human being, we are precious, we have a good physical body, we are not that sick, and we are really in the great shape. We still don't appreciate. We still, oh, if I can be like this, it would be so good, or if I become more like this, or so, if I get more like this, so good. Always like want more. But we don't ever say, oh, I'm happy with myself, I'm so happy. And this is great. Okay, finish. I'm happy. I appreciate. We say that in Tibetan Buddhism. Chokshi, the limitation, the appreciation of that. And we don't appreciate ourselves at all. Precious human life, is really destroyed. We destroy ourselves with so much. We destroy ourselves with so much of expectation, hope, society, mentality, so much of competition, depression, anger. Oh, this is so much of how to say, like really torturing, destroying the precious human life. So it's really something you must understand. The precious human life, is not something that you can get in the sabji bazaar. You cannot buy human life in Sabji Bazaar. You cannot buy human life in the eBay. Nowadays, it's so funny. You can buy anything you want in eBay or in any market. You can buy all the accessories. I think you can even buy your parents. Like, oh, I want to have a father from America, and I want my mother from Africa. You can even buy that too. But you can never buy the human life. You can never write in type saying, oh, human life. I want to be European with the black hair, with the small eyes, with the big body. I want to be tall and whatsoever. You cannot do that. A human life, precious human life is like a gift. I'm not going to talk about that in the Buddhism way, maybe because maybe you already know about it, or maybe you not know and you are not believing it. But the practical way I can tell you is that precious human life is not something that we can get easily. But always understand, as a human being, always there is a solution. There is a way, there is a cure. Never to lose hope and never to give up easily. Because we human beings, something so great of human beings is that we can do something so amazing, so incredible. And we need to put some effort, we need to put a little bit of hardship, and we can achieve something so great that we will not even imagine of. So always understand that there is always a solution. Even though how difficult, how problem happen to you, always understand that there is always a solution there. There is always the gate, the door to hope, to solution, to how to say, break away that. It's something that you must always understand. I have one friend actually, and she's from Europe. She's a very young little girl. I was just talking to her about life. She was telling me, oh, this and that, and family, and this, and study, and all of that. And she's very young, around 12 years old, so much younger than me, and I'm supposedly the elder one. But when she asks about me and now my life, like what I like and I like, I tell her everything I like, this and that, and I like cars and watch and this. And the last moment, what really got me so shocked is that she looked at me and she said, aren't you supposed to learn to be appreciating, not to over want everything? Aren't you supposed to sort of stop your greed? And then I was like, oh my God. It was so embarrassing. And supposedly the elder Buddhist Lama, and she's a little schoolgirl. And she tells me about, aren't you supposed to stop my greed? And I was so embarrassed. And I started to pretend, I said, oh yeah, all of this is just for Buddhism, not for myself. I am buying all of this watch and car and all of this, an iPhone and iPad and iComputer for all the Buddhist work, not for myself. I had to pretend and lie. I went back to my room and I was so embarrassed. It really hit my ego. It really hit my ego right at that moment. I was so shocked, thinking oh my God, that is true. I'm supposed to stop my greed. And I don't know how to control my greed. I am so messed up in this world, messed up with my own greed and attachment. So then I have big ego, extremely big ego. I don't know what you say that in Bhutanese. Khyentse, no? I'm huge Khyentse. Yeah, I have big reputation for that. So, but then I thought, okay, as a Buddhist practitioner, we always try to confront our mistake. So then I went back to the little girl and I told her, and I'm very sorry. Like, until now, I've been thinking you are a little immature girl from school and I'm adult, like Buddhist Lama or whatever, but actually you are the one, you are the teacher, I'm the student now. Because what you said to me is so true and I've never thought about it. So I deeply apologize for my ignorant thought, and what you said is very true. So I had to confront my mistake. So this is what we really, what is really happening is that we never look at ourselves. If there is a mistake, saying, oh, he did it. Oh, he did it. Oh, not me, he did it. It's not my mistake, he did it, like that. Or if something happened, oh, I don't know, I was doing this so good and he came in and he break everything. Or in even a relationship, either the boy or either the girl will say, oh, I didn't do anything. He's the one who cheated on me. Or she's the one who cheated on me. I didn't do anything. I'm so pure. I'm so innocent. But it's all about me. I, great. Other person, no. But in Buddhism, it talks about me, problem. I'm the mistake. You are the right. I'm the mistake. And that really helps a lot. Because in my life, because of the ego, because of my pride, I start to forget my mistake. But when my tutor, when my attendant, when my friends, when my people tell me, oh, you're doing a mistake, what you're doing is not proper, you should be careful what you do, it hits me. You see, it hits me very badly. When I think about it, I think, oh, that's so great. That's the greatest advice someone has given me. And I'm so happy, I'm so relieved that that person showed my mistake. Now I must be careful. You see, we never think about our mistake. We never think about. We think ourselves as great. And we are not. We make biggest mistake and we do a lot of bad things. But we never admit that. We never say that. Because we have so much of pride and ego. We think, oh, whatever I do is great. It's like saying in the ancient Chinese, they say a rich person, like in China, there used to be, like in the ancient times, there used to be these noble people, really rich people. They say the noble people, when they go and poo, they poo out gold. And that's rubbish. Who poops out gold? So like that, they have this ego thinking, oh, I'm so big. I am perfect. No. Answer is no. We are all imperfect. We are the worst. We are so bad. But we do not know that. So better to realize that, to know our mistake, and to clean that, to always be careful, always beware of ourselves, thinking, are we okay or not, yes or no, is this proper or not, is this helpful or not? Because if we don't check ourselves, it's very difficult. We don't have people all the time checking on ourselves. And when we do have people checking on ourselves, we are like, hey, who do you think you're telling me? Do you know who I am? Why are you telling me? You never dare to tell me anything. Or, we try to kick them out. But actually, we must always understand that we have to be really careful and have to really, our visual, visual. We always look at other people, but that looking thing, that look should be vice versa, look into ourselves. See, what kind of mistakes do I have? What is my fault? What is my disadvantage? And try to clean that up and try not to do that again. It's very important to check on ourselves. It's not something that we that we actually do so often. One thing I've noticed is that nowadays like people, and generally people are sort of like becoming really solitude. They become always like my world, my life, my work, finish. So always is this small world of us, small tiny world. And nothing becomes bigger. And we think very small. We see something very small distance. I think it's very important if we try to wider our understanding. And why we can't like increase or widen our image is that we do not connect to our real self, our true identity. Our true identity. As human beings, we have our pure, natural, purity, that pure, untouched, undamaged human side of loving, caring, respecting, understanding. That human purity really has to be connected, really has to be brought out, rejoiced, emphasized on. Because until now we forget that, we don't see it. So that's why we become so small-minded. We always see everything small. We never see anything big. So if we try to understand something bigger, we need to really reconnect to our real self, And self does not mean ego or pride. It means the human identity, true identity. If you really want to change, if you really want to understand, if you really want to become somebody, you really need to actually understand who you really are, what you really are, what is your goal, what is your aim, what is your image, what is your perception, what is your mistake. Then you really become somebody different. And I can assure you that. You see, many people ask these days, because I was having one training, management and leadership course by Jangchub Shing, Rinpoche gave us the opportunity to learn about management and leadership. One thing I really noticed about leadership is that if you want to become a true leader, you cannot be a leader sitting on a high position and ordering people. You really have to sort of break yourself into pieces and to become everybody. You have to think like everyone else. You have to think like a cleaner. You have to think like a teacher. You have to think like a doctor. You have to think like a peasant, a farmer, a merchant, everything. From small detail to everything. And you have to understand all of this. Not just understand, but you have to connect to all of this. And then, once you have all that experience, understanding, knowledge of this, then you have to build up a system in your own self. A system of not as a, what we say, controller. Because if you really want to become a leader, you're not the controller. You don't control anything. What you really become is you become everyone. And that's what I've noticed. So in my monastery, one thing I always think, and of course my main teacher, His Holiness Jabji Ramjan Rinpoche, as his great loving and his great, way of explaining, advising, teaching me, creating me into this way. And because of his blessing, because of all of my teachers' blessing, one thing I always keep in my mind is that as the abbot of the monk, as I am the one who tell the monk to do this and do that, I don't want to be a man ordering people, scolding people, beating people, really treating people like nothing. That is not what I do. But what is the path I take as a leader is that I am not taking the path of a controller. I don't control anyone. In the monastery, I am not the controller. I do not control anybody. From little monk to Kempo, Löpen, Truku, whatever. But what I do is that I am everyone. So I am a little monk, I am a monk, I am the Kempo, I am the Truku, I am everybody. So that's way that if you think like them, you know them, you understand them, you understand their difficulty, their way of thinking, their mistakes, their advantage, there's a disadvantage. And through that, you can sort of get your education from them. You learn something from them, you help them in their way. So this is the way you really reconstruct everything very proper, really well. You see, like, if that is not true, in ancient times, like the great warrior Genghis Khan or Linkesa, all of these great warriors, fearless warrior, they don't sit in their little house and tell their soldiers in general, go and fight and conquer. They themselves go. They themselves think like a soldier, think like a general, think like them, and then fight with them. And they are the ones in the first line, the front line. And that's how they conquer and really spread them all around the world. That's how Genghis Khan was the greatest warrior in the whole entire world. That's how the Alexander the Great became the greatest warrior in the whole world. That they think like everyone and they act with them. If you sit back and order, nobody will listen to you. Nobody will respect you. And your communication, your relation with the people are sort of expanded. So rather than sort of making people close to you, you're sort of pushing people away. So when you do that, people start losing respect and trust, and nobody will do as you wish. And then you become really ununderstanding, confused, and you don't know what to do. So if you really want to become a great leader, you have to really make yourself as everyone. So you are everybody. Your eye, your ear, your mind, your body, your touch, your taste is everybody. So whatever you taste, whatever you see, whatever you hear is my hearing, my image, my taste, my feeling. So that's how you reconstruct, and that's how things work in a proper way, in a proper system. See, and then now, I think my time is slowly finishing away. So I have to make things short. Many people complain to me saying, "Oh, you don't finish on time. Oh, you don't do things on time. Oh, you're always late." That is true. I am always late. I'm not on time. I admit my mistake. But I am proud to be that way, because that's how I make myself unique. I am never on time. I am always late. I never finish on time. That's how I break the rules, and I am the unique one. Not like everybody also on time, all this and that, It's great you do that. I'm happy for you. I'm proud for you. But I am not that way. And I know it's bad. It's a big problem, my mistake. But that's how I make myself unique. Natural way. And I don't need to make myself look different. Just am different. You see, when I speak to teenagers, not teenagers here, like yourself, but teenagers in the West, because Western teenagers have totally different understanding and totally different mentality. So when you talk to them, it's so difficult for me to talk to them. Because when I tell them, oh yeah, Buddha said that, Guru said, they're like, what? So boring, shut up. And then I have to talk about all the modern things, about music and dancing and this, and I don't know anything about that. And the most embarrassing is that they talk about all of these movies and gadgets and cars and want to go, film stars. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know him. Oh yeah. I try to pretend everything. I have to put the mask of fake. I have to lie and say, oh yeah, I know that and I know this and I like that. And the biggest embarrassing moment is that when they come to you, say, oh, and who's your favorite? And then you have to take some moment like, oh, I like maybe George Clooney or, I don't know, Michael Jackson. And they're like, oh, these people are nothing. You have these people. And then they bring up all of the other people's name. And you feel like you're like a caveman or something, So you see, it's so interesting how people think and how people like. And especially, the biggest problem for me that Buddhism gave me is that I don't know what to say when I talk about myself to people who don't know who I am. Like when they sit around, they talk about their self and their identity and who they are, what they are, and their names. And I really don't know what to talk about myself. And when they ask me, I try to make it sort of simple by saying, I am from, Bhutan, Nepal, and then I am a reincarnation of somebody who died, is reborn, and I live in a monastery with my 500 monks, and I'm like the abbot. When I tell all of that, and they're like, oh, this rubbish. What are you even talking about? And they don't want to listen to it because they don't believe it. And that is the difficult thing that Buddhism gave me. I don't know how to talk about my life. So nowadays, I just say everything I like. So sometimes they ask me, who you are? Oh, I am like the, dishwasher in that place. I am the toilet cleaner in that place. Oh, I am the, waiter in this hotel. All of this fake thing, I try to talk to them so that they will convince that I'm some sort of normal guy. But it's so interesting and very challenging to talk to people in that way. Yeah. So, you see, I wanted to say this quote from the Kagyu tradition. There's an amazing teaching, a text called Dabutaji. So in that, there is a 4-line sort of practice, not a practice, sorry, like a quote. And it says, Lo chuzuduwa sinjulobs, making aspiration that may I be able to have my mind in the path of Dharma. That's number 1. Number 2 is chul lamdolongwa sinjulobs, making another aspiration that may that path of mine, that perfect path, be on the rightful way. May you great teachers, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, bless me. That's number 2. The number 3, it says, Lam Truba It means another aspiration that in this path, in that path and practice of mine, may there be no confusion, complication in this. Please, all the great Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and great teachers, bless me. And now the fourth and the last one is Tunang Yishisu Chawa Sinjulobs. And making another aspiration that may all of this complication, difficulty, what you call confusion, be actually advice, be actually like an idea or method for me to be more careful, for me to be more mindful, for me to do something more meaningful. So please, all great teachers and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, bless me. So it's amazing, actually, aspiration, prayer or quote that I wanted to mention. And one thing I wanted to say is that, you see, there's a great scholar and teacher in Tibet, and his name was Amdo Gintinchube. He's a great scholar, a great poet, amazing poem. And there was one poet, he said, the people now live a life of lie, not to think about, they always talk about lie, and they see everything as fake and lie. It's actually very true. We live in the world of lie, fake. We talk about fake and lies, exaggeration. We see always something lie and forget. It's very true. What we see is not exactly that confirmed or confidential. It's always unstable and always like try to attract our attention. You see, this is what is happening nowadays. So what I really want to say, the really main point, as I said from the beginning, never to deny Buddhism. You see, one of my biggest aspiration, my wish, my only wish. Of course, I have two wishes. One wish is to serve my teacher and to serve all the sentient beings. But the second wish that I have is that I want to break through Buddhism and our human, way of society and all of this tradition and all of these non-Buddhist activities that we do. How we use Buddhism in so many personal ways. I want to break through that. And I want to destroy, not in a bad way, but in a very clever way, all of this and clean and make Buddhist a true Buddhist. Try to apply it to my own self and to all others who need the real practice of Tambegi Chu, the nectar of Buddhism. What is true Buddhist practice and what is true Buddhist teachings, not what we create in our own belief, and not all this mixture with tradition and belief and superstitions and all of this, and culture and all of that, but really clean cut Buddhism. And that's really one of my aspirations, that if this can be possible and if that can be done, and that will be extremely beneficial. Because right now everything is getting mixed up right now, all Buddhism and non-Buddhism and realistic and everything, tradition and society and all of that. So my main thing to tell you is never to deny Buddhism. And always try to understand that there's always a solution in our life, and try to appreciate as who we are and what we do. And one thing you must understand is that it's very important, you see, to know what you're really doing, what you're really trying to achieve. Many people, I'm so sorry to say this, I'm really sorry. In Bhutan right now, Bhutan, Tibet, wherever, nowadays, it is like this, you see. Families. In ancient time, India, Tibet, all the Buddhist practitioners, all mostly from noble family, rich family, good family, royalties, and so forth. Nowadays, you see, we don't see anybody from high family. None of the sons of the authorities, officials, don't become monks, don't practice at all. They don't even think about it. And what happened nowadays is that I like to say this, is a monastery and nunnery and Buddhism is becoming like a dustbin. I'm so sorry to say this to you. It's like this, father and mother talking. I can imitate you. They more. Ngachilu pusum yo. Di cheshu di namisemi leshimdu kopa pesha di ta pesha sashimle di pa Australia da America sashi tangwe. De ani punyi pati titish dusa. Kodi mapa ngachi na jungi layu toba chituwe. 아니 부충쇼디들 두브라 미도베사 차가이 미도에 같이 미도에 거디바 결혼나 주다 아니라 두베사. So it's like this, you see. Monastery is becoming like a place where you dump and every respect. And this is very sad to see. And I am shocked actually that people become like that. You see, we have one monk who both family, I don't think he has. Father sort of left him, sort of like rejected him, and now he's left with us. And he has some problem with mentality, but he is now grown up. And he is now very well educated. He is very well taught, very good heart, good mind. So you see, I'm happy to see all of this child who have been sort of like left like that we can help them in their way. But you must understand, you see, I am not criticizing you. I don't like criticizing you. But what I like telling you is that if you do like that, it's really like, in one hand, you are really disrespecting Buddhism. In one hand is that you're sort of like giving no hope to children. And that's one thing happens to child mind, is that, you see, I can know that because when I'm with my family, since young age, my family always, mother, father, brother, sister, always kept me well, taught me, helped me. Because just the loving of the mother, parent, really helps child to understand and to give that image, give the environment, that education that we cannot give in the book has to be given through affection, through mentality, environmental. So when people treat their child in that way, sort of deny them, it really makes the child think that I'm hopeless, or family don't need me, so I cannot do anything, I'm just stuck. So they get stuck there. And that is actually one of the issues that happens. It's very true. I am not criticizing you. See, I don't like to talk back. I always say this. I don't like to be somebody who stabs you from behind. I'm going to come in front of your face and talk to you, because that's what I'm going to do. That's what it says, to confront. So I need to tell you the truth. This is what is really happening. And it's so sad. I feel sad. But I feel very happy because the child can actually learn and be sort of motivated, you see, in a proper way. So that child grows up and can stand in his own way and think that he is somebody. Even though he may have issues, even though a difficulty, problem, yes, but he feels confident enough. So that is what we're trying to do. We are all trying to help ourselves. We are all trying to help ourselves. So if you really want to help children or people, you have to really sort of give them motivation, motivate them, give them enthusiastic, give them hope. Otherwise it's going to be very difficult and everything is going to backflip and nothing is going to work properly. But I'm really sorry, you see. I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth. I have to speak the truth. This is always important that you must understand. Always speak the truth. You see. Now I can understand that everybody is looking at their watch saying, "Oh, it's not finishing." I don't care. You can look at your watch a million times and look at me and say, "Oh, I'm not good." Does not affect me. Because why? Because this is who I am. My uniqueness. Later on, I tell my friends, you see, later on, when they write stories, they put a picture and life story, say, "Oh, this great teacher. Oh, that great scholar. Oh, that great doctor. Oh, great singer. This guy did this in this life." And they're going to put my photo up, say, oh yeah, he didn't really achieve anything. He was very good in time. He had a great reputation that he never finished on time and never even all the time was late. So that will become my identity. And I'm very proud of that. So now, actually, I'll give you time for your question and answer before I end the talk.
You've mentioned you visited many countries, and I'm from a country in Far East called Japan. They seem to have a different standard of living, and there are some westernization. I believe Buddhism isn't dying in Japan. Although I have never met single Japanese vegetarians, but they appreciate giving a life and the natures. So I believe it's not dying in Japan. And about 30,000 people committing suicide annually in Japan. So, in your view, do you think Buddhism is dying in Japan? And is it the negative? The second question is, those 30,000 people, are they missing something or they have something unnecessary?
So your first question is that
if Buddhism is dying in Japan.
Buddhism is dying in Japan?
Do you think so?
I really don't know about that. I cannot tell. I don't know so much about Japan. I cannot tell. But you see, in Japan, there is, of course, Zen Buddhist and so forth. It will flourish if people put, interest. You see, I cannot tell it's dying. That I have to be honest. And the second question of 37, is it 37? 30,000. 30,000 people who commit suicide. I do not know if they are missing something or is it necessary or not. I cannot tell because for each people what they do, they feel it is necessary for them. They feel it is important for them. So I cannot tell it's not necessary or not, or is not, meaningless for them. But what I can tell is very sad for them. And on top of that is that there must be a huge, solution, or I would say an answer to that, a cause that happened. If there is no cause, people will not do anything. If there is a cause, people will do something. So I would say there must be a cause there. So in that way, I will not be able to say that if that is not necessary or if they don't see anything. But what I can tell you is that there must be a reason behind this.
While it is right up the alley of Buddhism in saying that Buddhism and culture and tradition might be at odds, and I guess it would be the practice to eventually get there. But we at the BBS and as Bhutanese, one of our production ideas is to slowly make programs about how to make water bowl offerings and what is the symbolism behind prostrating. And all of this comes into the picture of culture and tradition. So my question to Rinpoche is if you could elaborate a little bit more in a sense that while so much of goodness, or be it evil, so-called non-virtuous deeds also, many people attribute it to habit. And in my own personal life, trying to practice Buddhism and understand and comprehend Buddhism, I have come to an understanding that it is making offerings or being good or being generous. Everything takes effort and needs to be created as a habit. And culture to me is a habit that has been passed on from ancestors or our forefathers. As Jiglam Namsha, so much of it has to do with politeness, so much of it has to do of being mindful of the other person. To not bore everybody, to put it in a gist, my question is if Rinpoche could elaborate a little bit further on Buddhism and culturalism and not being at par with each other.
Culture generally is very good. Culture and tradition. For instance, in general tradition in the West, when you eat on a table, you have to use knife and a fork. You're not supposed to burp. You're not supposed to put your elbow on the, I don't know what you call this. What is it called? Elbow, no? Elbow on the table. You're not supposed to lie down. You're not supposed to talk when you eat. So many nice tradition that really consults, like sort of makes us more proper and really makes us that discipline, it's well behaved. But now there are other traditions, like in Buddhism, in Tibet, Bhutan, Nepal, India, India before, instance like offering the 7 offering bowl is all actually comes from India. And instance things like offering to the Buddhas, offering to teacher, prostrating teacher. When you see a teacher bowing and taking blessing, what is the purpose? Because we need to know the meaning, or else it just becomes an act. And that's what I'm saying. It becomes an outer act tradition. Oh, why are you bowing down? Because my family told me. Because somebody told me. Because I've seen people do it. They don't know the meaning and they just do it blindfoldedly. Oh, why do you go to see a temple and offer money? Oh yeah, because my father told me, or my mother told me, or they do it. And that is not going to resist, be so reliable. That's going to finish easily. So in order, and I say tradition, is that to keep the tradition flowing. Because there are so many tradition and sophistication sort of fixed in the Buddhism. You see, like things like, when you drink tea, or you're not supposed to not supposed to drink tea from a broken cup, or you're not supposed to wear 2 hats, or you're not supposed to cut your hair at midnight, or you're not supposed to see the teacher at night. This is tradition, superstitions. But some are very useful, and some are not. You see, His Holiness Dalai Lama always mentions, he says that to know the meaning of it, and then you do it. If you don't know meaning and just do it, it's just pointless. But the great thing is that the tradition we do in Bhutan, in Tibet, everything is related to Buddhism. We always mention Temdil. So Temdil is, interdependent results, we call it, interdependent. Everything is depending on others. And everything happens when depending on each other. So we call that the interdependent cause and result. So that's why, in a way, I must say that all the Jiglam Namja and all of this is great, you see. What Buddhism talks about, the tradition and the what we call Jiglam Namja and all the system that is related to Buddhism, and all the superstitions and all the system that is made into small, they come from a small village, people who believe in these, so, some people who created, that is the one that's affecting us. So what I'm all saying is to clarify that. Of course, in Bhutan we have a great Dilam Namja, like when you go to see a temple, you need to wear kamne, then you cannot wear pants. That's a great. It's showing respect. Or, things like that, when you talk to people, the senior has to be respected. When you don't look at somebody's eyes and you cover your mouth, all of that is respect, showing respect. And when you eat, you don't eat loudly, and you have to eat carefully. All of that is systematic or respect. That's understandable. That is in Buddhism too. Buddhism always mentions and emphasizes on respecting others. But now there are other traditions that have no meaning and they're created by people who think that is important. Sophistications. That I'm saying may be better to keep it clean. That's all what I'm saying. So, we must emphasize on tradition because tradition and lam lukso is everything is temde, we say in Buddhism. And temdel, of course, it is the biggest inner dependence of the cause and result. It is one of the biggest, topic or subject in Buddhism. So I think that's what I would say.
In a similar line, Rinpoche mentioned about women and Tibetan tradition or Buddhism. In that line, I wanted to clear my confusion about the stigma that we normally receive from the Dalai Lama or the Karmapa. I have met people who say if a female touches the stigma, then it loses its supernatural power or supposed to protect from the evils. So I'm confused about how can a female touching such stigma will lose its power. Thank you.
It's just, as I said, a superstitious. Superstitious, you see, oh, mai sunke, or don't touch. You see, it's nothing like that. There is no boundary for that. Of course, we do say sometimes precious statue text should not be touched all the time and, put under, that's yes. But sunki, we don't really talk about it or if many people touch, it's actually good people touch. Because that blessing is going to spread. I think it's great people touch. And, that's what I'm saying. That's what I really love about Bhutan people is that when they see sunki, they never put it in the floor, they always put it in the head and say, oh, blessing. I think that is great. So even though, people tell you that you should not take that personally because you must understand that is not true. There is no boundary to that. That the supernatural power will never go away because teachers like His Holiness Dalai Lama Karmapa are like Buddha in human form. If that's very true, we should not even show the Tongzhu. Tongzhu should not be shown because Chinlap will Nyamshe. That's not what we believe. We believe how much we show Tongzhu, Cham, Chinlap, Ting, Kusum, its blessing will spread to all sentient beings. So I will tell you that there is no such thing like that.
Actually, it's not a question, but it's just my personal doubt. I just want to know that we Buddhist people, when a person who follows different religion, like Christian or Hindu or Muslim, any kind of religion, when they change their religion and come to join Buddhism, we Buddhist people really appreciate or kind of believe that they are really good and all that stuff. But when a person who follows Buddhism and changes religion to Christian or Hinduism or Muslim, we Buddhist people believe it's really kind of bad stuff or anything. So I just want to know what Rinpoche's take on this.
I would say it's a big loss. It's a big loss. To say that, when Bhutanese people join other religion, we feel extremely sad. We feel we have failed you. We who have name of teacher have failed you. We have not been able to help you in that. We have not been able to put much effort to help you, to make you understand and appreciate and really tell you, insert you what is true Buddhism. That's one feeling that I have. I feel very sad that I failed you, that I have not achieved this. I have not been able to help you that I could actually, in my own small way. I'm not saying I'm a great guy, I'm just saying in my small way I can help you. But I am not able to do that. And because of this, you're confused, you didn't know, and then you just join other religion because you think it's beneficial. You think it's more meaningful. So there's a true thought. One, from my side, teacher point of view, as Buddhist point of view, we feel sad and we feel we have failed. From your side, when we look at you, we think, oh, even from your side, you have not actually put more interest in Buddhism. You haven't got interest. You haven't really seen the real Buddhism. So I have two thoughts. From my side, I have failed. From your side, I think you have not put so much interest in Buddhism. As I said, not appreciating. I'm saying, you see, Bhutan, number one country, you see, we have free Buddhism all the time, Vajrayana all the time. Because it's so much, we get so familiar with it. And then we're like, oh yeah, okay, good. I do a little bit and finish. No, don't need to practice so much. So this, we become so familiar, and then we're like, oh, other religion, very interesting. So it's actually a true point of view, I feel. From our side, failed, I'm not able to help you enough. And from your side, I feel that you have not appreciated enough. You have not actually opened your eyes. You have just let go. It's like people, like free food sort of dropping in front of you, coming across you, but you just sort of ignoring that and leaving it away. So this is what I get, if I be very honest with you. When other religions sort of people join in the how to say Buddhist, what I feel is I feel happy. I feel, oh great, Buddha. Buddha is in everything. Buddha is teaching. Buddha is not actually gone. He said that in different realms, in different worlds, he will be teaching, he will be showing his activities. So I think, oh, this is the blessing of Buddha. Because of the blessing of Buddha, these people who are in the different religion have noticed that, who see that, really come into us. And I feel, oh, that's so great for them. I feel rejoicement for them. And that's, in that way, I feel that way. For them, but for us, people like our people, our Bhutanese people, Bhutanese, Himalayan, Tibetan people, when we join other religion, I feel a big lost. We feel, I don't need to repeat, I already said it to you. A failure from our side and from your side that you have not appreciated. You have not actually opened you to the real point.